This is Remus. He's courageous. This is Dixie. She's motherly. This is Harper. She's just starting life. All these dogs belong to the pit bull type, and they've all been rescued from neglect and abuse. Today in Tampa Bay, we're covering this heartbreaking issue as many more await to be rescued. Danielle Ho, Director of Shelter Operations at the Humane Society of Tampa Bay, says the majority of strays they receive are pit bull type mixes.
Our shelter has been staying pretty full lately just on strays alone. And I would say the majority of the stray dogs that come in here are pit bull or terrier mixes.
And sure enough, down in Kennel C, it's full of pit bull type dogs. There's a name card on each door. There's Nick, with his adorable, sensitive Yoda ears. Drew, a 5-year-old with calm, sad eyes. And last but not least, Macho, a curious and energetic 3-year-old. It doesn't stop at the shelter, though. Many more dogs are waiting in rescues and foster networks. Esther Oziel has fostered 11 pit bull type dogs through Passion for Pits Rescue and adopted 2, Dixie and Autumn.
Learning about how, they're the top breed in all shelters, they're the number one to go and kill shelters, they're the number one to go and high kill shelters, they're the number one abandoned, they're the number one misunderstood. So I felt like it wasn't just saving a life, it was also fighting for a purpose. And Dixie basically was in a home being bred by the owners, and that's basically all she knew. I don't even think she went for walks or had playtime. Like, she didn't know what toys were.
Harper, her foster, suffers from congenital and neurological problems that are likely the result of careless breeding.
She's the sweetest. She came from North Carolina. It was a case of the owners basically said at the shelter, we are moving out of state and we can't take her. Because of the capacity of the shelters, her limitation would have put her on the youth list.
He was only 30-something pounds and almost not alive anymore when he was confiscated by Animal Services.
Remus was saved by Animal Luvrs Dream Rescue, founded by Cecilia Nieves.
He is now a studly 65-pound dog. Like, he's not fat, but that's almost twice his weight, just to kind of show, like, unfortunately, the neglect that he went through.
Pit bull type dogs are not only neglected and abused, they've also been found to wait longer than other breeds for adoption.
I think sometimes in people's subconscious, they see a pit bull and they just kind of hesitate.
Pit bull is not actually a breed. A pit bull type dog belongs to one of 4 breeds or a mix. Brought to America by immigrants, they became beloved family pets. Sadly, they were used in dogfighting, and this contributed to the social concept of them as inherently aggressive dogs. However, as this review points out, there is no controlled study to prove this concept. Lindsay Camacho, a Passion for Pits volunteer, speaks from experience.
I don't think any dog's born inherently aggressive. It could be what they're exposed to. I think a lot of it has to do with the media. It's a lot of hype. Dogs aren't inherently vicious. They want to be part of a pack. They want to be, there's a pecking order. So as long as you can keep that in check in your house, I'd say 90% of the time, that's half your battle.
A human doesn't come into this world vicious. It's the same thing with dogs. Dogs don't come into this world vicious. They're trained to be that way.
Ultimately, these problems boil down to owner irresponsibility and public misinformation. The solution is education for both the owners and the public. Cecilia and her rescue educate school kids about pet ownership at the Great American Teach-In.
And I'll explain, like, we need good nutrition and we need exercise and not just being home lazy. I tell them, I'm like, if you were stuck in your room all day, you could have the best toys in the world, you would still get bored.
Some social media accounts are also doing great work. Pitbulls of Instagram spreads a positive image of the breeds to their 1.6 million followers. Stand Up for Pits is a foundation that utilizes comedy to raise awareness for pitbull type dogs. Their sold-out shows raise grant money for spay-neuter events and medical assistance for rescues across the country. Hopefully this creative movement in education and awareness drives positive change, because these dogs deserve it. In Tampa, I'm Gabrielle Gonzalez for the USF Newsroom.